Hi, everybody. Again, my name is Khalida. I hope you all are having a wonderful evening. I'm very excited. This is my first time at a public arts discussion. I've actually never been to one before, and so thank you for inviting me. And I'm also very happy to share my perspective on what community engagement means, what that is, and what it actually looks like as it happens in this neighborhood in particular through the organization that I work for. I wanted to start off just by telling you a little bit about the space that we're in. There's a lot of significance in this building, in the fact that it's open and it's beautiful and usable right now. It has not always been that way. Back in 1913, it was the ancient order of the Hibernians that actually built this building, and it was a social hub for the Irish community for more than 50 years before it was shut down. While I don't know why it was shut down for a significant period of time. And it was basically just abandoned. It was just sitting here. It was an eyesore more so, something people walked by. That was until Madison Park Community Development Corporation decided to invest in this property, in this building. They purchased it in 2000, and it reopened in 2005. Now we have this beautiful space that's actually usable, that the community, my organization ACE, comes here often, have our annual meetings and other events here, and it also houses local businesses. The hair place on the bottom floor is actually where I go and get my hair braided. So it's a beautiful space, and I'm very happy and thankful to Madison Park for being willing to jump in there, take that risk. There are a number of different buildings in this neighborhood, in Dudley in particular, that have just been left, and they sit, and they're beautiful, beautiful buildings where so much could be happening. And now, thankfully, there is more attention and more eyes on this neighborhood, on this community, and we're hoping to make sure that all of the improvements and the development that comes out of that are actually things that serve this neighborhood in a positive way, that serve the people who live here, who have been living here right now for a long time and will live here for many, many years to come. So while this building has a rich history and is providing a real resource to the neighborhood, the organization that I work for also is housed here in Roxbury. We're just a couple of blocks around the corner there on Washington Street. ACE stands for Alternatives for Community and Environment. And we're an environmental justice organization that engages with folks in this neighborhood around environmental issues. Issues that matter to folks in their day-to-day lives, from things like transportation, violence, education, things like that, that actually people care about and need in order to be able to move around and get to the things that they're trying to do in their lives, to just live. I wanted to share with you what ACE's understanding and model of community engagement is. For us, when we think about community and engaging with them, it's about organizing. It's about empowerment. It's about connecting with people where they are and finding out for them, what is it that's important to them? And what is it that might be a problem or an issue that they're struggling with in the neighborhood? And then what is it that we can do about that together? How can we collectively identify what's wrong in our community and then work together to fight for the change that we need to have in this neighborhood? The change this community frankly deserves, because it's been ignored for such a long time. As an organization that's based here, ACE has 4 different programs. One of them is a legal and technical assistance program that actually provides direct legal services to community groups that are fighting an environmental issue. All of our services that we provide to neighborhood groups are free. We're a nonprofit organization. In addition to the direct legal support we provide community groups, we also have 3 direct organizing programs. One of them is called TRUE, the T-Riders Union. The T-Riders Union actually organizes folks around public transit issues. We're fighting for an affordable, accessible system that actually meets people's needs. There are a number of people who live in this community who are transit dependent. It means they don't have any other options. That bus or that train is how they get to work. It's how they get to school. It's how their children move around and go to activities or an after-school job to be with their friends. It's a vital connection to what people need in order to survive. The Tea Writers Union has been around for a number of years, trying to make sure that our system was functional for the folks who need it the most. For everybody, really, but especially for the folks who need it the most. And the way we figure that out is we have to go into the system itself. We have to spend time on the buses, in the stations, on the trains, asking people, how else do you know whether or not something is working for them unless you go directly to them? And we say, what are the problems you see in the system? What works about the system? What doesn't? What might that look like if we were to change something to make it better or to have it improve? Sometimes we use surveys. Sometimes we have debates on the street. We invite people to meetings. We use multiple different techniques to engage with folks in the neighborhood. I wanted to get a sense from you all, how many of you actually use public transportation? Raise your hand. Okay, a lot. How many of you have a car and drive? Also a lot. How many of you only use public transit? Okay, fewer, but still a number of you. Have you guys heard of the Tea Writers Union? Yeah, any members in the room? Okay. Now, what I did was a simple survey of you as a crowd. I could do that in many ways and get deeper into the questions about whether or not the system works, doesn't work. At the Tea Writers Union, we take that simple survey, just tap in the temperature about what's out there and how people are feeling, and then we take it and we use it. We put it to work. Right now, just today, actually, at the Transportation Building, we had a rally with about 250 people. Did you guys know the MBTA is going to raise fares again? They're proposing a massive fare increase. They want to significantly raise fares. I'm talking about potentially doubling the fare that you pay now. In addition to that, cutting service, cutting entire lines, and even pulling some buses and trains back from how often they actually run. This would be a huge impact on the people in the neighborhood that use public transportation. It's going to impact all of you, especially if you're the folks that depend solely on public transportation. So it's incredibly important that we get out there, that we physically are in the community itself, talking to people about their needs, what they are, and then what we need to do together to actually organize a campaign or some other drive to try and stop this fare increase that's about to happen. It might be stopping a polluting facility from coming into the neighborhood. One way or the other, we have to engage and talk with folks in a real meaningful way where the solutions to the problems can come from their direct experience, because we truly believe in our environmental justice work that the people being directly affected by the problem are the ones who are best to come up with what the solutions are. Those are where you're going to get the solutions that work for people and actually are sustained in the community itself. So community engagement for us is incredibly important. It's the linchpin of what we do when we're organizing and we're connecting with people. And our Tea Writers Union program is going to fight to try and stop this fare increase, as we have for the past 10 years with every fare increase. Know that we have not always won, but there's always been a building of the people in this community and a greater sense of empowerment that gives us the hope to know that we can impact that system, that we can impact what's about to happen in our transportation system. Years ago, when we rose up against a fare increase, we didn't stop it, but we won bus-to-bus transfers and a weekly combo pass. Those things are still present in our system today. Now, our young people, through our REAP program, the Roxbury Environmental Empowerment Project, are also fighting for a youth pass, something significant that's just about them being able to get to what they need to get to the places they need to go to using public transportation, and why that's so important. I brought some materials, so I can't go too much into that campaign, but it's an incredible one, and our young people are really making the case for why that pass is instrumental in the system, and this is the opportunity now, while the system is in flux, while the MBTA is proposing this massive fare increase, to push for that significant change. There are some reports on the back table that talk more about what the youth pass is for, why it's important to our young people, and why we need to have that in our system right now. I really wanted to share those two examples with you about youth empowerment, the Youth Pass, young people fighting for that, and particularly the T-Riders Union one about taking the issue and finding the solutions direct to the source, to the people who need things the most. Because those things are significant and have been really instrumental for all of the other wins and change that we've been able to create as an organization that's been significant for this community of Roxbury. Community engagement can be an extremely powerful thing, whether you're trying to create public art or vision a new community or change the world. And so the way you do it all depends on your intention. And if your intention is creating splash, then there's definitely a lot of possibility in there, but there's also so much more when you take the beauty that when community comes together, when you take that beauty, there's so much that can come of that. And some of the T-Riders Union work, some of the youth work that we've done, and other ACE work, those are all just examples of how powerful the community can be when you touch them and bring them into whatever it is that you're doing. So enjoy the presentations by the artists. I look forward to hearing more of them and how they've chosen to engage the community around their work. And I really hope that you guys take a minute to check out the back table, look at our annual report, learn a little bit more about ACE, our organization, the work that we do. Our work is not only based here in Roxbury, and if I invite all of you who use public transportation, even if you don't, even if you're a car person, if you drive, to pick up a pamphlet in the back and become a member of the T-Riders Union and get involved with the campaigns that we have going on right now, because it's incredibly important and we'll need each and every one of you to win this one. Thank you.